has to be totally revamped, if not destroyed, and rebuilt. That is the only way that people of color, especially our black and brown youth and men, will ever get any justice.
Thank you, dude.
This prison system is the biggest prison system in the world. We're talking about 2.4 million men, predominantly black and brown, that are in prison here in the United States. We need to be clear and understand that since January of 2012, 29 killings has occurred by police. Since Trayvon, and we're talking about since Trayvon, which was February the 26th, 16 killings by police across the United States.
Terrible.
That's averaging 8 to 9 killings per month by police across the United States. As you know, Oscar was murdered by Johannes Messerly on the BART platform. And in that criminal racist system, what we experienced was a judicial figure named Judge Robert Perry taking the verdict that the juries came back with, guilty with the gun enhancement. And as a judicial figure, he looks at us as a family and says, I, Judge Robert Perry, made a mistake in my instructions to the jury, and I now have to disregard that guilty verdict by that jury. And therefore, I have to consider only the involuntary manslaughter charge. And as we know, Judge Robert Perry then went on to say, I'm going to give him good time served, sentence him to 2 years with good time served, where he only does 11 months. This is a total travesty to what we felt as a family, and I'm sure those across the community, the United States, witnessed as a racist sentencing that took place. We need to be clear that not long ago, 2 judges in Philadelphia were found guilty for sending youth to a youth prison that was built by private business. This judge was found guilty, and they were actually given a fine.
How much money they made?
As a matter of fact, I want everyone to be clear. Judge Mark Calavera and Michael Conahan of the Court of Common Pleas in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania, plead guilty in open court that they sentenced children to juvenile detention because they were paid off to do it by the PA Child Care and sister company, Western PA Child Care Corporation, that ran the private facility. The 2 judges face up to 7 years in prison under a plea agreement made with the state. The companies in question paid the 2 judges more than $2.6 million to send children to detention centers.
That's right, Chief.
We must be aware that we're dealing with a racist criminal justice system. In the last 20 years, 22 prisons been built in the state of California, only 2 educational systems. What is this state coming to?
Police state.
What is the state coming to?
Police state.
We know it's coming to a police state.
Right.
And if we don't pay attention and recognize that mass incarceration is a crime that's being committed by the United States, we are going to be under a police state. There are more men in prison today than there were at the end of slavery, black men. More in prison today than at the end of slavery. There are more black men incarcerated today than in college. Over 7 million black and brown men are in the probation department, meaning that they have some kind of requirement by their state to adhere to this racist criminal justice system procedures, as in allowed to be searched at any moment in time, report to probation officers, doing various community work, being denied the right to assistance from the county, being denied the right to true employment because what they have to check on that application for employment, being denied the right to housing. I mean, mass incarceration is the new Jim Crow. We need to be clear, we need to understand that these men, black and brown, are being totally discriminated against once they enter into that system. The stop and frisk in New York.
Right.
Over 700,000 black and brown men consistently being harassed by this, again, racist justice system. What happened to Oscar Grant, my nephew, in the judicial system was an extreme example of the racism that takes place in the system. Defense attorney Michael Raines, representing Johannes Mesley, took the silhouette, the picture of how the bullet entered Oscar's back, making an argument that that silhouette justified, or the direction of travel of the projectile, the bullet, through his body, substantiated their claim that he was resisting arrest. And then took that silhouette and said, Judge, this will be exhibit KKK. This is a fact. And we need to be clear that this type of racism is happening within our judicial system. The mass media does not want to report those type of incidents because they don't want the people to be aware that we're dealing with a system that has been totally co-opted by racism. And until we as people come together and stand up to stop mass incarceration, this heinous act by the system will continue to such a degree that many of our children, babies, will not have a true existence in this so-called United States.
What's up, DeAndre?
So I make a plea to all that we support the demonstrations, the rallies that are happening across the United States in regards to mass incarceration.
That's right.
That is the only way that we will bring a change to this system, and that we need your support to stand to speak to it. We need you to become knowledgeable. And this is a cry out to all those that are not black and brown. If you're of a moral standard and you believe in this true system, then you need to take a look at the realities of behind what's happening with this system and support us to bring about justice and equality to all people in the United States. Because Oscar Grant is a human being. Trayvon Martin is a human being.
That's right.
Sean Bell is a human being.
That's right.
Kenneth Harding is a human being.
That's right.
James Jones is a human being.
James Rivera.
James Rivera is a human being. Amadou Diallo is a human being.
Molly Graham.
Ronnie Graham is a human being. Kenneth Chamberlain is a human being. I could go on and on with these names. Many are dying at the hands of this system.
That's right.
We need to address the system.
Tear it down.
And tear it down and rebuild it.
That's right.
In a way that will be fair to all. Thank you and support us.
Yeah! Power to the people!
All right, thank you.
You say power to the people!
Look, this whole thing of this mass incarceration has many aspects and many consequences. And part of what he was talking about, this white supremacy in which this country was founded, gives a big green light to the killing of Trayvon Martin and other people. Where vigilantes think, according to what the Supreme Court